Hey guys, welcome back to Fishing It Up. Today I'm going to go over how to locate bass during the summer using your side imaging. The first thing we need to do is figure out where to start. I'm going to start on main lake points. That's typically where they're at, or they're usually pretty close to those points. I'm going to use just the side imaging. I'm going to drive around about 4 to 5 miles an hour. That's where I get the clearest image on my sonar. And then we're going to go from there. We're going to try to locate schools of shad. That's what the main forage is here, is shad. So that's what we're looking for. Okay. So I'm just going to drive through here. I got it going about 3 miles an hour now. It's a pretty good picture. So make sure you trim up. That way the side imaging can clear the bottom of your outboard. And we're just going to drive around these main lake points. From one to the next, see if we can locate some shad. Here's some here, starting to appear on the screen right there. The smaller group here. There's some more off here. Now, if you want to come back to those, you can go ahead and mark them. I'm just doing this for you guys, so I'm not actually going to go back and fish them right at the moment. But I'll just keep driving along. There's another little small group there. The water's kind of churned up pretty good. You can see it through here. There's about 5 pleasure boaters went through and tried to run me up on the bank pretty much. And there's some more here and right there. There's another group here. Now all these balls of shad, like probably this one here, has bass around it. You can kind of see them. There's another group here. All of these schools of shad are not going to contain bass, but if you hang around for a little bit, sooner or later they'll come to eat them. The smaller schools are usually your best bet. When there's tons of shad around, it's harder to deceive them into biting your lure when there's thousands upon thousands. There's some more fish here close to the bottom. Now that we've located the shad, I marked, or I would have marked, multiple schools of shad there and went back and fished those. I'm going to get up on the trolling motor. I'm personally going to use my live scope to pick those apart to see if there's any larger bass feeding in them. If not, I'll move on to the next one. The easiest thing to do, the wind is blowing the opposite direction that I just drove in, so I can just easily turn around, let the wind push me back through them, or I can just use the trolling motor. Either way. You can use your standard traditional 2D sonar and down imaging, or one or the other, or all three of those together to help you stay on top of the fish and catch them. Now, the benefit that forward-facing sonar or live scope has is that you can stay back off of the school of shad and cast to them without having to be directly above them like you would with standard traditional sonar or down imaging. So you're going to say, Matt, what if I don't have side imaging? What do I do? Well, you can use standard or traditional 2D sonar and down imaging, or one or the other. I like to use both of them because between the two, you get a really clear picture or a good understanding of what is actually under the water. You can use your 2D sonar and drive over top of them the same as I was doing with side imaging. I just get a little bit more range with side imaging than what you would with a traditional 2D sonar. But same concept, drive over top of them, locate them, go back and pick them apart with the trolling motor. All right guys, now that you've located the bass, I'm gonna throw this in here. I mean, whatever lure that you are comfortable with is more than likely what you need to throw once you've located them. So if you're comfortable with the crankbait, find one, because more than likely these fish are gonna be feeding up. Shad, school of shad, fish underneath, feeding up. Find a crankbait that will run above the fish so they see it and run it down and eat it. But me personally, I'm gonna go over a couple baits that I'm gonna use all summer long, and they're just gonna be variations of different weights depending on the depth the fish are at. And I always keep a topwater tied on because you never know when they're gonna come up and feed on top. First thing we're gonna show you here, I've been experimenting with this spunk shad from Hog Farmer. I've been using this on a jerkbait rod. I actually have this on the Core Tackle Tush. It's the ultimate swim bait head. I've been using that, and I keep one of those. You could have any soft jerk bait that you prefer. My favorite swim bait right now, this one is a 1/4 ounce head with a Kitech. It's a 3.3 size. It's my go-to. And like I said, any kind of top water. I tied on a Whopper Plopper today because I'm having trouble getting them to bite. So I was hoping reaction would work. I have actually caught a couple with it, so that's good. And then if you need to go ultra finesse, I've also been using the spunk shad on that with the hover rig from Core Tackle, and it works good as well. You can also use any small lure like the Sonar Minnow from Yum. That's one of my go-tos. I was using that before this. There's the vertical shad. That's a good one. It just depends on how deep the fish are and how finicky they are. If you're gonna have to go to finesse, or do something like the hover rig with that's on a spinning reel with light line, 10-pound braid, 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. That's pretty finessey for me. That's as small as I get typically. Unless I'm crappie fishing, then I go down to about 6 pound. But 8 usually works really good. I can also use an 8-pound fluorocarbon on my swim bait rod. My go-to. I've been using the Yo-Zuri, and it's 100% fluorocarbon. It's worked great, had no issues with it. Started out using Vicious fluorocarbon. One of these may actually have it on there still, but most of them are Yo-Zuri. Same way with my jerkbait rod, it is also fluorocarbon. The only rod reel setup I had that was not fluorocarbon was my topwater reel, and it is mono. This is the only reel that I have that has monofilament on it. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of what lures and rod and reels I use once I locate the fish. Now, you're just gonna have to find out for yourself on what to do, which one is required. But like I said, whatever you're comfortable with is what you need to throw. I'm super comfortable with the swim bait, and I catch more fish on the swim bait than anything else because of that. So if you're comfortable with something different, don't be afraid to use it. Just try it out. Try to match the hatch as best as you can, and just have fun. It's the main thing, is to just have fun. Hey guys, thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Fishing It Up.